all, I don't usually ask this, but if you are enjoying the content, please do hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get for the 1k mark, so I get some extra features unlocked on the whole site. But nonetheless, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about what's been going on in RomUniverse. So, like a bad episode of Dragon Ball Z, previously with Matthew Storman, the owner of RomUniverse, which was basically a website that allowed you to download every ROM from Nintendo under the sun for a monthly subscription fee. Basically, Nintendo saw this and went, no, we don't like you earning money that doesn't go into our pocket, so they slapped him with a great big fat fine and court. It got a little bit of attention because he went to court and he didn't have a solicitor. He actually ended up representing himself. Now, because things didn't go quite the way he intended, he got slapped with $2.1 million worth of damages, which all in all ended up with him being charged $50 a month. So it didn't quite equate the way a lot of people thought it would. Now, like myself, many people thought this would be the end of it and we wouldn't hear the name Storman for a little while, but apparently this guy is an absolute expert at getting himself into all sorts of trouble. So continuing from where we left off, Mr. Storman, he has to pay $50 a month. He is yet to pay that $50 a month. Now, this is a token amount and will take him a meager 3,500 years to pay it off, but Nintendo are quite insistent on the fact that he pays up. But aside that, Storman is an absolute expert at getting himself into hot water, and this is what was from the post-court filing notes. They said, Mr. Storman stated that he will be considering what to do with RomUniverse and that if he were to bring back the website, it might have video game content and ROMs from other companies other than Nintendo, but would not have Nintendo content. So taking into account that he hasn't paid the $50 a month and then Nintendo heard that statement, they went on to file an injunction against him so that he couldn't ever run a ROM site again. They said, defendant's threat to continue to operate RomUniverse to distribute video game ROMs using the same website he used for the past several years to mass infringe Nintendo's copyrights and trademark rights necessitates the entry of an injunction. So if we fast forward to today, I have the last part of the whole Storman story, which if you ask me has a little bit of a nice ring to it. But long story short, basically Nintendo, they went for the re-injunction. Initially it was backslapped by the court and they said no, the site is already closed down. But they then went on to refile for a permanent injunction at the beginning of July, arguing that basically because he failed to pay and he's got this whole desire to bring back the website, this necessitates the kind of entry of an injunction. And now poo has really hit the fan for Storman because the court has gone ahead and given them the permanent injunction that they were after. Which means not only can he never ever bring back the site, he also has to permanently destroy all unauthorized Nintendo games, anything including movies, books and music. And here's the real slap in the face because the guy is obviously a Nintendo fan, but he is prohibited from copying, distributing, selling, performing, displaying, playing, or otherwise using any unauthorized copy of Nintendo copyrighted works. And then if he doesn't comply with this, he basically ends up with an even fatter fine or goes to jail. So there we have it. Poor old Storman is never allowed to play another Nintendo game so long as he lives. And in some ways, again, as I previously mentioned, I do feel for the guy because he's obviously a big fan of the whole Nintendo franchise because he made a whole site dedicated to the downloading of ROMs and sharing it, with people all over the world. But the moral of the story here is if you go around diddling with the bottom line of big game companies, it's going to come back eventually and bite you in the bottom. So personally, I find the whole conversation around emulation and ROMs really, really interesting. I'd love to hear what you think about them in the comments below. Let me know if you use any ROMs and emulators. Do you think that they should be made legal somehow? Do you think that companies should better facilitate them? What's your thoughts on it? Do you think Storman should have got as harsh a punishment as he did? Let me know. But for now, stay healthy, stay well. We've got loads of news on the way and have a great week.